Richard Kusiolek, and I'm with GMCStream TV, and we're very lucky today to have a member of a company that for the last 3 decades, the name of the company is Sasken Technologies, has been providing extensive expertise, if you will, to global satellite communication leaders by developing terminals, handheld devices, network software development, and confirmation tools for development to enable, it's very important, reliable communications with satellites, GEO, MEO, or LEO. So I'm very honored today to speak with a gentleman by the name of Ajit Singh, correct? I say it correctly?
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Richard. Perfect.
He is the global head of communication and devices business unit of this company. So, Ajit, let's begin. And can you tell us a little bit about your background and experiences in the satellite industry?
Yeah, so my personal experience in satellite industry goes back about 20 years ago when I started my career in Bombay, India. Mm-hmm. And one of my first jobs that I took was for a company which was a subsidiary of Hughes Network Systems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was part of a pre-sales consultant come an account manager role. Mm-hmm. And India at that point of time, the terrestrial networks were still still getting stabilized. Mm-hmm. The reach of terrestrial networks was not very high. Mm-hmm. So the VSAT industry was extremely crucial for making sure that not only remote, even a lot of towns. Sure. And key cities didn't have the right strong connectivity. Mm. So we help a lot of financial institutes, banks, stockbrokers have real-time, stable 99.999% connectivity.
Wow, that's terrific.
Right. So that was my first experience in getting introduced to the satellite world. And in fact that was one subject which I could also relate to my college degree. Typically
right.
What you study, you have to be very lucky to use it in your corporate life.
That's a truth.
Right.
Sure.
Right. So I was lucky that one of my first jobs I was able to relate to what I studied about SCPC, PAMA, DAMA, double hop satellite communication, single hop, and the latencies and which applications will work.
Right.
So that was my first experience, and now coming back, fast forward, I did a lot of other things in my career, and joining Sasken about 8 months back, leading the communication and devices business, which is kind of, I'll say, the DNA of the company. Mm-hmm. I know some of my peers who had the other business units may not like my, but this is the truth. Sasken as a company, communication has it in its core, right?
Sure.
All the other offers and the markets that we have penetrated is
sure.
leveraging our communications.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know also, you work for a company called Wipro. Perhaps you could say a little bit about that, because I worked for companies kind of similar.
Okay.
But what was your background there? I understand you really achieved quite a bit there.
Yeah, so Wipro was a short stint of 17 years.
Oh, wow. Wow, only. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I joined Wipro as a pre-sales network consultant.
Okay.
And essentially helping again enterprises across different verticals establish their local area and wide area networks using different technologies, different products. That's what I did for a living for a few years, and gradually was successful and grew into multiple roles, handling larger geographies, larger markets. Got an opportunity to come to the Bay Area,
sure.
managing one of our largest clients, global clients, Cisco.
Wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive.
It's a 100 million plus client for Wipro, and Wipro does a lot of work both in the product engineering and the IT services space. So interesting, learned a lot.
Yeah, that's very impressive, because I knew John Chambers, and so Cisco is like one of the key players in Silicon Valley, I think, in routers, bridges, and so for connectivity issues, for terrestrial network. So anyway, thank you for giving us a good understanding of your background and knowledge
Thank you,
and
Richard.
experience. So I'm going to kind of go on. I understand that your company has developed a handheld satellite terminal for the world's leading satellite service providers.
Yes, that's right.
Along with M2M devices that detail Sasken's communication expertise. Now, what were some of the development channels that you faced? I mean, when I say you faced, I mean the company. Were there some challenges?
Of course.
there?
So when you engineer something something new, which is not done before, right? There are definitely development challenges. Now, the difference that Sasken makes is that the history, the 3 decades of engineering knowledge and experience that we have, it really helps us take on every challenge step by step and overcome it.
Sure.
So coming to the specifics, so we are doing a leading LTE over satellite terminal for one of our large customers, and that's not done before in the industry, right? And trying to squeeze in the maximum throughput with the minimum power requirement.
Right.
Managing the temperature, managing the ruggedness, managing the aesthetics, right? So these terminals, there are different variants that we are creating.
Sure.
There are handheld terminals, right? And the requirement from of aesthetics to power requirement,
Sure.
the speed is different, the application is different.
Right.
To something similar to a Wi-Fi hotspot, right? So that is for multiple users to log in. Then a tracking device, which could be on for maritime or on the move vehicular
Sure.
traffic. So the applications are different, and so the attributes needed from these devices are different.
Right.
So we did face, and right now we are in the development phase. The final designs are over. The execution has kick-started both on the software and hardware. We have an extremely competent and capable hardware engineering team in Finland.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So very few folks know that Sasken, although headquartered in Bangalore, the core hardware competency comes out from Finland. These are many of our colleagues are from ex-Nokia, and
yeah, of course.
Amazing history and experience in managing mobile technology and how the concepts have been adopted in the satellite
Sure.
world to bring in more speed,
Right.
more throughput. So we have a very strong team which is helping us on the hardware.
Okay.
Right, and the software happens largely from Bangalore.
Yeah, I'm glad you kind of gave us a little granularity here, because one of the things that your company is amazing because it has a global presence.
Yeah.
And you utilize
Yeah.
various resources around the world to really create great products. And so, what breakthrough technologies that you see are going to be integrated in the development of the new generations of satellite terminals that must address the large, small satellite constellations? This is, they're being launched, a lot of these companies are being launched out of Silicon Valley. Matter of fact, I was amazed. I mean, we're talking
People are
about...
launching cars, Richard.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's no longer
Yes.
small.
And there's Tesla cars are being launched. Yes, I know. Right. So this has got to be a kind of a challenge or a new market. Can you just give us a few points?
Yeah, so I think the market in the satellite industry is at a cusp of a huge transformation, right? So traditionally satellite has been more used where, it's more of a compulsion.
Sure.
Right? If I, maybe a very strong word where, okay, you're not getting any terrestrial connectivity, so I need to go for satellite, right?
Sure.
I need high security, so I need to go for satellite.
Right.
There's a natural, foreseen calamity, I need a satellite,
Sure.
right? But satellite industry, the way it is evolving, with concepts like OneWeb, SpaceX, and
Right.
people planning to put thousands of satellites
Right.
up in the space, the speeds are going to be completely different. I don't see it completely replacing a terrestrial technology, but the complementary, it will get more and more integrated in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah, that's a
right?
good
I see
point.
more dual band, multi-band terminals coming in that, for all few years down the line, you might carry a cell phone which also may have a satellite backup.
Right.
Right. I mean, the volumes will bring down the price points. The technology, I think one of the biggest breakthroughs that one is expecting is on the battery technology. Right. Today, a large amount of temperature and weight is heavily dependent on the battery. Right. Innovations in those areas is definitely going to help. Right. So these are few things which I feel we are embracing. And Sasken, our business is to enable our customers, whether it's
Sure.
a satellite operator or it's an OEM manufacturing the DVB modem or the VSAT terminal or the handheld terminal or the tracking device. We are enabling our customers, and we are bringing in the right expertise and solution components that we are investing into fasten their time to market.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I was thinking about when I was making up these questions, I shouldn't say making them up, but was planning or
Yes.
doing synthesis on
Yeah.
these questions.
Yes.
The United States Army is looking at driverless vehicles, if you will.
Yeah.
You have extensive development at the SAT terminal software and very
Yes.
small form factor antennas for these vehicles. Might be of interest to them. Have you looked into the military applications of these new form factors?
So, Richard, okay, we are working with a leading North American satellite company which serves the US Army, but
Oh, okay.
there are certain restrictions, regulations, because it's a very sensitive
Right.
area. There is also restrictions on
Sure.
US citizens
Right.
working in the core programs.
Sure.
So within the framework, we are enabling our customers. We are not working directly,
Right.
but we are enabling our customer to bring in the best of technology.
Okay.
Should there be a need that we can interface directly, we as a company are open, right? As a technology competence, we don't have any biases.
Sure.
We just want to make sure that we provide the best solution to our customers.
Right.
So whether it is the US Army or the Indian Army,
Sure.
right? So, but largely we work through larger satellite corporates, right?
Okay, good,
Yeah.
great answer too. And can you briefly discuss how increasing advancements in M2M devices will enable networked devices to change the domain of device-to-device communications?
So what's happening, Richard, in this space? Since I also manage the devices business for Sasken, right? And the transformation there I'm seeing is that the innovation happening, for example, in the camera technology, innovation that's happening in the voice-enabled technologies. They are making these devices more and more self-sufficient, more and more intelligent, right? So if a device can speak and the other device can capture and act based on that, or a device can see,
Right.
and based on the image recognition analytics that runs, it talks to the cloud,
Right.
it gets a decision, and based on it acts or asks another device to act.
Sure.
These enabling components are coming together and getting integrated, right? Now, do I see a huge market opportunity? It will take some time.
Right.
And it might happen more in the industrial domain, which I see, than the consumer domain. Consumer domain will definitely benefit.
Sure.
But I think that the monetizing model has still to be evolved, and there the leading will be the cellular operators, because they're touching me and you, right? They're
Sure.
providing the connectivity at home, in our handheld, right?
Right.
So these are the guys who will monetize this,
Right.
and bring in the right benefit values. But where I see it, the industrial domain is where it will pick up faster. Because there they will see machine to machine how it can build in more efficiency, how
Right.
it can bring in more safety for the workers.
Right.
Right. So, a couple of years back, for my previous organization, we were doing a program using M2M technologies and bringing in device intelligence to enhance the security and safety of the mining workers.
Okay.
Right. So they go into dangerous environments to mine the precious resources, and the traditional technology is not safe enough. A lot of human life is lost because of errors that could have been proactively managed, or dangers that could have been proactively sensed, and you could have managed them. So with enablement of machine to machine and the intelligence of the devices, this is getting much better. The second example I can give you is that in developing countries, a lot of power is lost in the distribution because of power thefts, right?
Right.
In some countries, almost to the extent of 40 to 50%. Now, by getting intelligent devices, the smart meter programs, it's able to bring it down to almost 10%, and itself justifies the cost of capital investment going into
Right.
enabling some of these programs.
Wow.
So I think it will come on the industrial side. the devices getting intelligent, and will open up a lot of business opportunity for companies like Sasken, especially because we are, I'm not sure, Richard, if you're aware, we also started investing heavily in the digital transformation technologies, especially those which completely integrate with the chip to cognition story that Sasken, is positioning itself in the market. Right from the semiconductor going to the application level and talking about digital transformation that helps our consumers. So I think for us as a company, it's a great opportunity.
Well, I think so too, and it's as you articulate the vision and to some extent the mission too, it's really exciting. Let's see, I have a few other questions for you, and one of the things, kind of what led your company to concentrate on the satellite technologies? Where did that come from? And then I'm going to ask you a little bit if you were working with Israel.
Yeah, so let me answer the second question first. No, we are not working with Israel.
Okay, you are not?
We are not. We are not. Coming to I think we've been in the satellite industry, although I joined Sasken just less than a year back,
Sure.
but Sasken has been working with one of the leading SATCOM operators for more than 15 years now.
Wow.
Right? And
I think you say which one that was, or is that?
Yeah, it is in Inmarsat.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've been working very closely with them in bringing out the next generation terminals that you see today in the market, right? For the last 15 years we have been working very closely, and we are proud to be their partner, and I hope they're happy with the services that we have been providing. So I don't think it was an accident that we got into the SATCOM industry. It was a well thought that it was. We saw that coming from the 3GPP background, where we were investing and contributing to the protocol stacks, to the standards,
right.
And we saw that the same kind of knowledge could be used and offered to the SATCOM industry. And that is where we said, okay, it dovetails well with our strategy.
Sure.
And let's enhance our wireless footprint. And you will see very soon. As an extension, Sasken getting into the vehicle-to-vehicle, the CV2X that we talk about.
Right.
We already did an announcement about a month back along with Qualcomm.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, in the Mobile Congress. And you will see a lot of new solutions that Sasken will bring to the market.
Wow.
For, the autonomous vehicle-to-vehicle communications.
Wow.
So, yeah.
The more I listen to you, the more I realize that your company is kind of such a powerhouse and not as well known, on the brand side, but it's exciting listening to you. Okay, let me look at a few other things here. Well, one of the major concerns that we see in the government, the U.S. government and other governments, is a thing called cyber threat.
Yes.
And they're very concerned about that. And these kind of homegrown, or what I call foreign adversaries target all forms of communication platforms today, and their software down to the component and chip level. So my question is, how is your company addressing the cyber warfare realities?
So, building secure products, whether it is software or hardware, which are very difficult to penetrate, is an integral part of our development philosophy, traditionally, right? So, and we have a center of excellence led by, I can name a gentleman, Dr. Punacha, who works extensively into new technologies and making the work that we do highly secure, right? Although the SATCOM world, if you see, most of the players in the industry, they have proprietary technology, right? So no two handheld terminals will be the same. The software that goes behind, the encryption technology that goes behind it will not be same. So they are anyway very difficult to penetrate.
Right.
But the underlying components that we are building, they are highly secure, right? And that's been the philosophy of Sasken, right? So any software that we prepare, it's highly secure, right? Bug-free, very high quality. Whether it is for the cell phone market, for the devices market, or for the SATCOM market, because we understand that today the man-to-machine integration is actually happening. The physical and the IP worlds are integrating. We know that the device we may make will be sitting at somebody's garage door, and we don't want it to get broken in and
Right.
cause a threat to the family.
Sure.
So we understand that very well.
Right.
So we will, we'll not leave any stone unturned. The best of the technology that can offer will make our software very, very safe and secure.
Well, your words are so powerful. I think the cyber security issues is very, very big in the Milcom area.
Yeah.
And I hope that you have an opportunity. I think for perhaps sometime, of course, working through a U.S. Contractor. For those entities to really appreciate the technology and the type of expertise, engineering expertise and knowledge of the market will come out.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to, I'm
sure.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're not.
One example came to
Yeah.
my mind. I mean, I
Sure.
can't name our customer, but for one of our customers, we're actually reverse engineering their existing devices
Okay.
to see two things.
Mhm.
One, if somebody is infringing their patents,
Okay.
right, and which is very valuable to them.
Yes.
Second, if there is any kind of a white hat hacking, right, any security
Yes.
threat. So we are offering that service to one of our
Okay.
customers, right?
Oh, very good.
I thought I'll just mention that because customers don't only come to us to make a new device or a new product, they also come to us that for something that they've already made,
Mhm.
how sturdy that device is.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to kind of end here very quickly, but we'll talk a little bit about the market. I think you've given us a lot of great ideas and vision and knowledge. Can you kind of give us a little projection, where the terminal market in the SATCOM area is going in the next, say, 3 years? Do you see some great growth, or where is that coming from?
So, Richard, my experience in this industry, is not very highest for me to, be a visionary.
Okay.
But, from Sasken's perspective, let me
Sure.
talk about Sasken's
Yeah, please.
perspective, right?
Yeah.
We are not a very big organization. We are shy of $100 million revenue.
Right.
Right. We are publicly listed. We follow the highest ethics and standards and processes that any public listed company should follow.
Sure.
It's very easy for any global player to adapt us into their ecosystem.
Sure.
Right. They don't have to worry about basic stuff.
Mm.
It is all standard and process driven.
Sure.
Our SATCOM revenues today will be at a company level close to maybe about maybe around 12 to 15%
Okay.
at a company level, right?
Mhm.
We foresee that going close to 35-40%, and the company is going to grow. Our vision is to take it to, from in the next 4 to 5 years, from 100 to $250 million,
Mhm.
and we are saying at least 35 to 40% of that revenues will come from the SATCOM
Okay.
business. We are entering into areas which are traditionally we were only in the handheld terminals.
Sure.
But as I explained to you, last 2 years we have started working for some customers on other kind of terminals, on the move vehicle or the maritime
Right.
terminals or the fixed terminals,
Right.
the DVB modem space, the VSAT space.
Mhm.
So for us, the market opportunity is growing.
Mhm.
The SATCOM market today itself is huge for us. There is enough room for us to grow.
Sure.
It runs into $250-300 billion market.
Sure.
I think we are not even scratching the surface as yet,
Right.
right? So
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so there is a lot of work for us to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a good point. And you've given us so much knowledge. I guess I'm going to kind of just ask you, do you have any further comments? I mean, you've given us a lot of knowledge and exciting perspective of your company. Do you have any other final points?
Yeah, so to the viewers and the listeners, my only communication that Sasken may not be extremely marketing aggressive, really, we don't really shout at top of our voice about
Sure.
our capabilities or competencies, but extremely strong as a company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that because I'm part of the company, I've come with 20 plus years of industry experience
Sure.
into Sasken. As a newcomer, I see
Mm.
there's immense knowledge in this company, right? So I'll encourage viewers and listeners that if there is something interesting that where we could collaborate,
Sure.
we'll be more than happy. And when I mean collaborate, it's not necessarily a customer-vendor relationship. It could be a partnership relationship.
Mhm.
We are looking to enhance our ecosystem and grow our business, make it profitable to our customers. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you very much. It's really been personally relaxing and exciting to sit here and work with you and ask some questions. So I
My
want to
pleasure,
thank you,
Richard.
Ajit. Thank you.
Amazing.
A pleasure. Thank you.